Houston Makerspace is a 21,000 square foot warehouse that houses all kinds of different tools and machines for makers of all skill levels and fosters community and access to resources that you may not have otherwise. So things like a wood shop, metal shop, screen printing studio, product photography studio, and so on. I'm going to give you guys a tour real quick of the space. If you'd like to follow me, we're in the lobby right now. So as you can see, we have a couple of different projects over here that have been made by makers in Houston Makerspace. This is a hydroponic wall that a young lady named Jessica Haskins is working on. So when it's finished, it will theoretically be 90% edible and 100% self-sustaining. This is William Hescher's bottle bike. So William built this bike over here from reclaimed materials, and it is actually a musical instrument. Let me show you that real quick. So when you press the keyboards, the bottles on the back engage. So that's an example of some of the stuff that we make at Houston Makerspace. You can see our monthly calendar, which tells you everything that's going on at Houston Makerspace this month. And then to my left, you can see our little kitchenette. Yes, we do have a kegerator, so our priorities are in place. If you'll follow me this way into the classroom, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So we have a terrarium class set up right now that we're working on today. We also do other things in here like modern calligraphy. Terrarium making is something that I've been doing for about 10 years and teaching classes in for about 10 years. It's essentially just a little miniature ecosystem. So you have your drainage layer, your soil layer, your decorative layer, and your plant. So with a lid on it, these can survive indefinitely. So going through here, you can see we have some storage for members, some lockers. And this takes us into our textile shop, where we have plenty of sewing machines and a couple different sergers. Our next stage in this shop is to build a custom floor loom and get a couple of spinning wheels so we can teach people every step of the textiles process. And we talk about that a lot at Houston Makerspace. We have 3 levels of service that we provide. The first level is if you don't know how to do something and want to learn, we would love to teach you. Second level is if you already know how to do something and just need access to our tools and equipment, your membership covers that. And the third level of service is if you just want to pay someone to do it for you, we probably have a qualified maker that would love to make a little extra cash. So this is our product photography studio. We identified that a lot of people in Houston are making products to sell at markets or online, and they needed better photos of said products, so we wanted to provide some resources for them. So we do have an in-house photographer that provides her services at a discount and is also happy to teach people how to take photos or let people use her lights and equipment. We also have a small computer lab with both Macs and PCs, all loaded with Adobe Suite, SketchUp, Blender, and various other software programs that people can have access to with their membership. And we're working on creating some classes to teach people how to use that software if they're unfamiliar. So moving through this space, you can see our jewelry shop. We teach a lot of classes in this shop right now, which are extremely popular, and I think we have another Intro to Jewelry series coming up in February, which will be listed on our website under the class tab. Moving through to this space, this is an example of us listening to our community and altering our space accordingly. Houston Makerspace is always a work in progress. We're always changing things around. And behind me, you can see the beginnings of a ceramic studio. When we first moved in, we had this set up as a letterpress shop. It wasn't being used as much as we would have liked, and a lot of people were requesting ceramics. So we now have 3 kilns, a couple of wheels, an extruder, a slab roller, and we're working on getting some more equipment in here as well. So ceramics classes will start in February. So coming through here, you can see our print shop. Again, we're just now getting this shop fully up and running, so it's functional, and now we're making it a little more aesthetic and a little more user-friendly. So you can see a little stencil class going on right now. This is screen printing basics using stencils. And this class will be offered regularly as well, and you can find out about that on our website. This next room is very much under construction. This is our rapid prototyping studio. You can see we have an industrial Stratasys 3D printer, as well as a little homemade printer. We're in the process of building 2 more printers that are kind of in between these 2 sizes.
Hi. I am Pietro Valsecchi, and I work here at Makerspace helping with 3D printing machines. We have 2 machines, this one which is the cool one, and the little brother there which is the smaller one. The difference between these two is the price. This one is around $20,000 machine, that one is a $200 machine, but they do exactly the same. They basically create parts by layering piece by piece. How you do this is you create a part in 3D in a computer environment like a CAD, and then you send it to a printer who makes, you can see it on the monitor here, it makes it in little slices and then tell the printer to build slice after slice until it creates the entire piece.
And additionally, in our rapid prototyping shop, we'll be creating some plastics casting and vacuum forming capabilities here in the next couple of weeks. As we're walking into our main warehouse, you can see one of the projects we're working on right now. If you live near the Houston Heights or ever hang out in the Houston Heights, there is a bar called the Boom Boom Room that has been around for years. It has just switched ownership. And we are redoing the bar for them as well as back behind the bar. So we do take on a lot of projects for other local companies. We have a lot of makers in-house that run successful businesses out of here that do work for other companies. We have a Guys Building Guitars meetup happening right now. That happens every third Saturday of the month from 1 to 4. Our wood shop is fully functional. We use this all the time, and we have several classes listed on the website if you're interested in woodworking. Our metal shop over here is about to be fully functional. We just need to get the wood back out of it. And we do have a lathe and some welding equipment and a shear and a few other things as well. So one of the projects that we have going on at Houston Makerspace right now is an RV to tiny house build. So two of our members are using Houston Makerspace to turn an RV that they got into a tiny house. We have several of those projects going on here right now. This is probably the most far along one. You can see a party going on as we're walking through here. Also, every third Saturday of the month, we have a maker market and open house. So we invite local vendors to come and sell their products at Houston Makerspace. And a lot of the things that you'll see at the maker market were actually made here.
So my name is Tracy Tebow, and I am a street poet. So basically what I do is I come out with my typewriter, and you get to name your price and your topic, and I will write a poem about anything for you on the spot. I also accept barters and trades, so not just money, and I can write a custom poem for you in just a few minutes.
So behind me is our 10,000 square foot community garden that is maintained by Edible Earth Resources, a local edible landscaping firm. So we pulled our first crops out of the ground about a week and a half ago, and those were turnips. And we have a couple other crops that should be ready to go soon. So we're still figuring out what we're doing with the produce coming out of the garden, but we are generating quite a lot of food, which is really great because this was an abandoned lot otherwise.
Hey, this is Sarah with Dose of Diversity on Meeko TV. We're here today at Houston Makerspace with founder McLean Smythe. How are you doing today?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having us here in your amazing space.
Absolutely, thank you for coming.
Before we get into talking about this Houston Makerspace, I wanted to ask, what is a Makerspace? What is that? I've never heard of that before coming here today.
So, I'll go ahead and take this from you. The maker movement has been around for a little while now. Arguably, the first makerspace in America was created in 2006 in Menlo Park. It's called Tech Shop. There were some makerspaces happening before then. Other terms that are applied to this type of a facility would be hackerspace, fab lab, and again, Tech Shop. And basically, it just came about from a group of people that needed access to resources and machines that they maybe didn't have space for, couldn't afford, and people started realizing if you band together and share the load, you can have access to things. So I moved to Houston about 3 years ago from San Francisco and identified that there was a need for something like that here and started asking people who would be interested, and here we are 2 years later.
Okay, and can you tell us what Houston Makerspace is exactly?
Absolutely. So we are a 21,000 square foot warehouse that has 7 different workshops and 8 support spaces that all together provide tools, resources, education, and community for makers of all skill levels. So we are a membership-based facility, very similar to a gym. And membership at Houston Makerspace starts at $50 a month, and then you add shop access for $25 each. So for example, if you wanted to just use the wood shop, you'd be paying $75 a month. We are a 100% volunteer-run organization, so our main goal with charging for memberships is just to pay our rent and keep our lights on and try to get bigger and better toys for our members to play with.
So if a member pays $50 a month, they have free reign over everything? They can use all the supplies and everything? No.
But very good question. So the $50 base membership gets access to all of the support spaces. So that would be our lobby, our kitchen, our classroom where we're sitting now, our product photography studio, our computer lab, our parking lot, and our 10,000 square foot garden. And then the 7 shops are wood shop, metal shop, rapid prototyping shop, print shop, ceramic shop, jewelry shop, and textile shop. So those are each $25 a month. And you can add those a la carte, and you can add and remove them from month to month as well. So it's a really great way for people to kind of dabble in different techniques, and maybe something really works for them and they want to continue screen printing, or maybe they've decided that ceramics really isn't for them and the next month they take it off of their membership.
All right, so tell us, how can people get more involved?
Well, we have several different ways. The first way to get involved is to come in for a tour, and we are open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 8 and Sunday from 12 till 5. You can come in anytime during those hours, and there will always be someone available to talk to you about the space. Secondly, you can volunteer at Houston Makerspace. More information about that can be found on our website under the Get Involved tab. You can take a class, which can be found on our website under the Classes tab, or you can become a member, which again, you can do that online or come in. So our website is www.houstonmakerspace.com, and we are located in Houston's East End.